So, for those who don't really know me, I make content really mainly for the Chinese internet. So, you're talking about Red Note and Douyin. But I occasionally post my stuff also on the Western internet, mainly for those who are curious about products or things in China. I'm not political. I am like most normal people. All we care about is looking after our kids, making sure they're fed, keeping a roof over ourselves, and having the odd bit of spare money for our hobbies. Anyway, so recently I made a series of videos called the Shanghai Report, and really it's kind of a way of bridging the gap between East and West. So the first part of the video really is about my childhood during the 1980s. For those Chinese who are kind of curious of what it was like for us in the West during those times. And the second half is mainly for the Western audience who are interested in like everyday encounters I have in China. So on the 15th, I uploaded my third report, and I'd uploaded it beforehand to Red Note and Douyin with no problem. But as soon as I uploaded it to YouTube, it got taken down within seconds. And I got given a strike. So this is really strange. I'm kind of new to YouTube as a producer of videos. I kind of only started last year, and I only have 50 subscribers, which I'm very thankful for. But like in comparison to the Chinese internet, it's like a drop in the ocean. Anyway, getting back to the point is, I log in and find out the strike is for child endangerment, which I found very bemusing because the only content of children in there in the video is myself during the 1980s. Anyway, so I'm given very little options other than to do some child endangerment course, which I have to do, and appeal. And I think, well, okay, surely when someone comes along with half a brain will look at like my video, listen to like it's about my childhood experiences during the 1980s, look at the pictures and just go, okay, you know, fine. So a day later I get a reply from a human, but unfortunately this human has sided with a bot going, yep, this is definitely child endangerment. To my frustration, I'm left with no recourse because I can't like reply or appeal the appeal or, you know, try and like point out the obvious in the video. And I'm just left with an account what's got a warning until the fall of this year, and I can't use my account for a week. Now, I was born in 1981. Now, some people would debate whether I'm Gen X or not. That's another thing. However, pretty much all the pictures of me and footage I've used clearly show a very kind of Gen X upbringing. And I think the two pictures which seem to have got the YouTube staff's knickers in a twist are one of me and my cousins in my grandfather's pickup truck on the back of it. And it's not being driven around, it's just stationary, but we did get driven around in the back of that. And the second one is me and my brothers holding an unloaded rifle on my grandfather's farm. And my best guess is that it's some millennial Karen who didn't like the pictures inside my video and can't accept things from a historical perspective. So, you know, are the Gen X community, being in America, UK, Europe, are they going to put up with this? Because it seems like these millennials want to sanitize our history. And just because things didn't look safe from back then, they were what they were. We had guns, we had knives, we had gasoline and fireworks. It is what it was, you know. And to remove like pictures and video from those days is nothing but sanitizing history. Sure, it could come across as child endangerment, you know, in the way that things are these days, but that's just what it was back then. And we're talking about historical images. Now, I have no recourse. I don't have a big community. I don't have a big celebrity YouTube friend like Asmon. So pretty much being slapped on the snout for things that literally are arbitrary, I don't really fancy being smacked on the snout again. And so I'm starting to move some of my videos over to Odysee. Now, I want to keep on talking about my childhood because I'm very fortunate to have like footage and images from back then where a lot of people don't really have that kind of thing. For example, I have footage of me playing my ZX Spectrum, and there are people with pictures of them, but not real footage. And so I'm very fortunate to have this sort of treasure trove of historical imagery and the ability to talk about this sort of stuff. But I don't want to do that on YouTube and face arbitrary account destruction. So, you know, and it's so funny because my videos on the Chinese internet, never a problem. And some people might say, oh, would you allow your Gen Alpha daughter to do some of the things you have in your pictures? And I would say, you bet your ass I would. I ain't raising no weakling. So you do you, Karen, and let me raise mine the way I want to.
I'm sure you've heard the words, "This is the way." But have you ever stopped to feel their weight? The Mandalorian is more than a story, it's a code. A creed about loyalty, found family, and the journey of redemption. So as we wrap up, remember, whether you're forging your own path or standing by those who matter most is the way. Hit subscribe, and let's explore the galaxy together.